This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Sunday, the 16th of July. I'm Michael Groff. A very active monsoon pattern in effect here in the southwest for the next several days. Increasing chances of showers, thunderstorms, heavy rain, and the potential for some flash flooding as well. So let's talk about it as we look outside this morning here at 5:15 a.m., a peek toward the Superstition Mountains. Mostly cloudy skies here in the valley. It's a warm and muggy start to the day. I'd say it's kind of tropical outside. 84 degrees right now at Sky Harbor. Dew points at 70, relative humidity 63%. The winds are light, the barometer is steady. Temperatures across the area this morning, low and middle 80s on the board in many spots. Satellite shows clouds and showers and thunderstorms still going on across northern Mexico and along the international border. Scattered clouds here in central Arizona. On the watch warning map, excessive heat warnings from Topeka to Kansas City as well as St. Louis. Elsewhere across the west, high fire danger in the northern Rockies and extending out into the northern plains. Heat advisories along the west coast. And here in Arizona, we have a flash flood watch in effect. It includes Flagstaff, Prescott, Payson, Phoenix, Gila Bend, Casa Grande, Tucson, Nogales, Douglas, Sierra Vista, Safford, and Globe. That's in effect from 2 p.m. this afternoon until 10 p.m. tomorrow night. The potential for heavy rains that could produce flash flooding exists just about anywhere at just about any time. On the convective outlook, a marginal risk of severe storms up across the northern Rockies and into the northern plains, as well as from eastern Missouri through Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. And here in Arizona, once again, we have a marginal risk of severe storms this afternoon. The primary threat from any severe storms would be strong, damaging straight-line winds. That threat's fairly minimal, but certainly enough to warrant a marginal risk. Let's talk about that and everything else as we check the models and get into the specifics of our weather. Here's the GFS, the 06Z run, valid at 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time today. And the big players on the board, a mid-tropospheric ridge centered over Utah today, so mid-level easterly flow will help direct showers and thunderstorms that develop in eastern Arizona toward the deserts, including the valley, later this afternoon and tonight. There's also an inverted trough located across northern Chihuahua and much of New Mexico, and that'll add extra upper-level dynamics to help form showers and storms, good divergence aloft. So all of the ingredients are coming together. In terms of sensible weather here in the valley today, we'll call it partly sunny, with a chance of showers and storms anywhere at any time throughout the day today. They'll be primarily focused in the afternoon and evening, but isolated storms could just pop up anywhere, and any one of those storms could be capable of producing some heavy rain. Highs today in the valley 100 to 103 with very humid conditions prevailing. Now, as we go into the evening hours, let's look at some of the high-res models and see what kind of atmospheric parameters we're dealing with. We'll start with the instability. Here's the Cape tonight at 5 p.m. Look at these numbers, in excess of 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram here in south central Arizona. So the atmosphere is plenty unstable. The precipitable water, we have lots of moisture in place with values in excess of 2 inches here in southern Arizona. That represents, again, up toward the 99th percentile in terms of anomalies. So we have lots of moisture, tropical moisture in place. This is the high-res NAM tonight at 7 o'clock. It shows plenty of showers and storms extending from Pima through Pinal, eastern Maricopa, Gila, Yavapai counties, heading west toward the valley. This is the NAM at 9 o'clock, showers and storms coming on in here. And this is the NAM at 11 p.m. And again, showers and storms will be weakening, but still rain going on here in the valley. Now, that doesn't mean that's exactly how it's going to play out. But the high-res models have done more or less a decent job the last few days of advertising these storms developing in the mountains and propagating toward the deserts. I'd say the best chance of rain today would be between 5 p.m. and midnight tonight, and any one of these storms would be capable of producing some very heavy rain and flash flooding, but a few isolated storms could also produce some damaging winds and some small hail. And I'd say the chance of rain tonight, probably a coin flip, 50-50. And then tomorrow, the atmosphere may be worked over for much of the day, so we could kind of just be in a cloudy, soupy sort of day where we have more clouds than sun. Highs only in the mid to upper 90s, and I think it is very likely we stay below the century mark tomorrow with very humid conditions. Isolated showers and storms will be possible anywhere at any time, but the focus would be in the mountains, mainly in the afternoon and evening. Now, tomorrow night, something very interesting here. The European model has been very consistent in advertising an easterly wave approaching the state. Remarkable consistency over the last week or so, this has been advertised. And if that materializes, a nocturnal event, a nocturnal batch of showers and thunderstorms will develop overnight Monday and into the early morning hours on Tuesday, producing another round of locally heavy rain and some good thunderstorms. Now, the severe weather threat seems pretty minimal with this, but another heavy rain potential, and the GFS is showing this as well. This is 5 a.m. Tuesday off the GFS. Look at that, showers and thunderstorms possible, so we'll say a 40% chance of rain then. The rest of Tuesday looks kind of mostly cloudy, again, soupy. The European only shows a high in the upper 80s, which seems almost ridiculous, but I think more realistically speaking, we'll be in the 90s. We'll stay below the century mark again on Tuesday with very humid conditions. Wednesday still looks like a muggy sort of regime, highs in the upper 90s to about 101, a medium-grade monsoon in effect, so a chance, 30% chance of late afternoon and nighttime showers and storms. Thursday, back to a more typical monsoon pattern with broad east to southeasterly flow, but any one of these storms, I think, will still have somewhat above average moisture content in the atmosphere, so any storms could still produce some locally heavy rain, and highs 101 to 104. Really the same thing on Friday. Temperatures to remain below normal, humidity levels probably pretty high for the monsoon. And same for Saturday, no real signs of any massive dry air intrusions anytime soon. This is a week from today, Sunday, the 23rd of July. High pressure is still located somewhere over the southern plains, maybe another high cell just north of us as well. So southeasterly monsoon type flow should continue, and highs mostly 103 to 106. Really about the same thing on Monday the 24th. The GFS is actually showing some sort of a little cutoff low off the west coast. That's kind of interesting. Don't think that materializes, but of course, we'll have to keep an eye on it. And here's the end of the forecast period. This is Tuesday, the 25th of July. High pressure over the southern plains expanding, holding the trough off the Pacific Northwest coast. So broad south to southeasterly flow would continue if this verifies. And so the monsoon would continue at least with a low-grade chance of late afternoon and nighttime showers and storms, highs 103 to 106. So the bottom line is conditions aren't going to dry out anytime soon. Looking at temperatures for the next 10 days coming off the deterministic European, and yes, it's got a high of 89 on Tuesday. Not sure it's that cool, but you know we always have one of those cloudy, muggy, soupy, rainy days every summer, one or two of those. And maybe one out of every 15 years in July, we do have a day with a high in the 80s. It has happened before. We'll see. Otherwise, temperatures to remain below normal for the next 10 days in all likelihood. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning, or of course, updates if necessary sooner than that. Otherwise, be sure to subscribe to us. That way, every time we post a brand new video, you'll get the notifications. Be safe out there. Have a great Sunday.